It was my 29th birthday. My husband, Daniel, had promised me something special, something unforgettable. And he kept his word, though not in the way I ever imagined. Daniel was a charming man, tall, well-built, always smiling, but often mysterious. That night, he brought 5 of his closest friends over to our London flat for what he called a surprise birthday bash. The men were all familiar to me: Thomas, Jack, Reese, Aaron, and Liam. We'd known each other for years through Daniel. But something about their eyes that evening made me nervous. They were too calm, too knowing. The party started normally: music, drinks, and laughter. Around 11 p.m., they dimmed the lights and brought out the cake. It was gorgeous, shaped like a red velvet heart, with my name carved in white icing. As I was about to cut it, Reese whispered in my ear, "Make a wish. Tonight, you'll never forget what's coming." His voice sent a chill down my spine. I looked around. Daniel's friends had already settled around me, watching, smiling, almost too warmly. Daniel stepped back, as if letting them take over. I didn't know whether to feel flattered or frightened. After the cake cutting, something strange happened. The music stopped, the lights flickered, and then Daniel said something I didn't expect. "Tonight, you're the queen, and you'll sleep like one, surrounded by your knights." I laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. But then, instead of leaving, the 5 men followed me into the master bedroom, Daniel included. The room had only one large bed. I stared at them, frozen. "What's going on?" Jack spoke next. "You trust your husband, right? He planned all this. We're not going to touch you unless you say yes." That moment changed everything. The air in the room thickened. I felt watched, yet oddly in control. Daniel came up behind me and whispered, "If you want to say no, say it now." But something in me, curiosity, danger, or madness, stopped me. I didn't say anything. They all stayed in the room that night. No one left. It was the strangest thing. 6 men, 1 woman, all under one roof, in one bed, with nothing but tension, glances, and unspoken thoughts. Hours passed, and not a single touch happened, until, at around 3 a.m., I woke up to whispers. Daniel was no longer beside me. Instead, Reese was watching me. He gently placed a hand on my shoulder. "Are you okay?" he asked. Before I could answer, a loud knock came at the door. Everyone froze. Daniel opened it. 2 police officers entered. "Mr. Daniel Woods?" one officer said. "We've had a report of suspicious behavior from this address." It turned out a neighbor had seen too many men entering the flat and got suspicious. The police questioned us all. What shocked me the most was what they found. Inside one of the guest jackets, Aaron's, they found a small vial of sedatives. He was planning to drug the cake. The cake I had eaten. Daniel was stunned.
So was I.
Aaron was arrested on the spot. The rest of the men, including Daniel, were questioned for hours. In the end, only Aaron was charged. But that night changed everything. It exposed the fragile trust in my marriage and the dangers hidden in friendship. After that night, I never looked at birthdays or Daniel's friends the same way again. And the worst part? The cake had been cut, but the real damage came after. It had been 3 days since the incident. The silence between me and Daniel was unbearable. I kept replaying the night in my mind, the flickering lights, the tension in the room, the police at the door, and Aaron's betrayal. He wasn't just a friend. He was Daniel's best man at our wedding. I stayed at my sister Olivia's flat in Manchester to get space. Daniel kept calling and texting. I didn't know what Aaron planned. "I swear," he said in one voicemail. But how could I trust him again? He had brought those men into our home. He let them sleep in the same room with me. Even if nothing happened physically, the mental pressure, the psychological trap, it was all real. Olivia asked the one question I was too afraid to face. "Did Daniel set you up?" That question haunted me. 1 week later, the secret revealed. I agreed to meet Daniel at a cafe in Camden Town. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept in days. "I want the truth, Daniel," I said firmly. Why did you let them all stay that night? Why didn't you stop it when things felt off? He sighed and slid a small envelope across the table. Inside were photos, old ones. One of them made my blood run cold. It was me in the gym 3 months ago, secretly taken. Another photo, me and Daniel walking, but the angle showed it was taken from a distance. A stalker's angle. Reese took these, Daniel said, eyes dark. He had a thing for you. He was obsessed. He convinced Aaron to help him. The rest of the guys didn't know. I found out after the police got involved. I felt sick. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Because I thought I could fix it on my own. I wanted your birthday to be perfect, but I invited the devil into our home. Daniel then told me something worse. Reese had been arrested 2 nights ago, caught trying to break into our building. He had Aaron's phone and was planning something bigger. The police found detailed notes in his apartment, plans to isolate me during the party, ways to manipulate me into drinking more, even potential blackmail photos. I was a target. My birthday was their trap. Ending, the final decision. Back at our flat, everything felt darker. The same room, the same bed, but I felt like a ghost. Daniel sat beside me. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want to protect you now. I looked at him, my husband, who tried to make my birthday special, but whose poor decisions nearly ruined my life. I don't know if I can love you the same way again, Daniel. But I know one thing. You weren't the one who poisoned the cake. You weren't the one who planned the worst. That counts for something. We agreed to take time apart. Not a full divorce yet, but space. I needed to heal. I needed to feel safe again. As I lay in bed that night, alone this time, I remembered Reese's whisper. Tonight, you'll never forget what's coming. He was right, but he didn't win. I did.